I'm your host and medium, Angela MacLellan. Welcome to a special series here on Divinely Connected Podcast, where we will be featuring one-on-one readings connecting my listeners, just like you, with their departed loved ones. In each session, I extend a sacred connection where messages from the other side can be received, understood, and cherished. I believe that every encounter is divinely led, and through these intimate connections, not only do we open the door for messages from the other side, but we also invite healing into our heart. Each session serves as a reminder that our loved ones are still with us, guiding us, and offering their unconditional love from beyond what our eyes can see. Join me as we embark a journey of reunion, connection, and healing, where the bonds of love transcend the physical realm. Through divinely connected readings, we'll bridge the gap between here and beyond, offering solace, closure, and the comfort of knowing that your loved ones are still with you. I am Angela MacLellan, your host and medium, here to reunite you with those who you miss the most. Welcome to the Divinely Connected Podcast. I just loved the energy that Logan brought to the reading. Of course, coming into a situation or into an experience like this, we have emotions already flowing. And that can sometimes prevent our ability to open up and to understand as Spirit is communicating with you in real time. And even though this was a recent departure for Logan, and she was really in need of receiving these healing messages, I thought she did an absolutely brilliant job of staying open, staying present, and being able to make those connections. Her cousin popped in the beginning unexpectedly. And that's what I love so much about Spirit, is that they will do this, one, to kind of warm us up, to open up our heart chakras and in our mind to the messages that are coming through. It's also a really great way of bringing through validations that this is indeed real. Her grandmother, who was patiently waiting, did an absolutely amazing job coming through, sharing her personality, sharing her wisdom, sharing her love, and taking time to reassure her daughter and her granddaughter. And I just thought that the messages were absolutely beautiful. You could feel the healing happening. So thank you so much, Logan, and thank you so much for tuning in to Messages from Spirit. Have I ever read for you before?
Never. I've never received reading ever before.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So I do like to start my sessions with a little spiel. That will let you know what you can expect. It's also my sign and symbol to Spirit that I'm ready to begin. Okay.
Okay.
So if we never received a reading before, I always just give the advice of having an open heart, open mind. Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes we come into sessions and we're like, we really want her to say this, and I really want to hear from this person. And we may start with a different soul, and then it just throws us off. You know what I mean? And then it all of a sudden, so it's always like, just have an open heart, open mind. The way that I feel Spirit is I feel the love of the relationship. So for an example, a father figure coming forward could be father, stepfather, grandfather, father-in-law, and uncle who play that role. So I see them in silhouettes, and then depending on where they stand with me, I can figure out the dynamic of the relationship. Okay. They will then give me, I always say it's like putting together jigsaw puzzle. So then they'll give me additional information. So I'll be like, oh, how do you connect to the chest? It may have been a heart attack. It may have been lung cancer, right? However that comes in.
Yeah.
And so it's like puzzle pieces putting together. I am mainly clairvoyant. So, and I have to say too, depending on the father figures, like I said, it could be father, stepfather, grandfather, father-in-law, and uncle played that role. Same thing. If you had a best friend on the other side, she may come through as a sister because you loved her like a sister.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Same with in-laws, step connection. So again, open heart, just kind of having that open mind, right? I am mainly clairvoyant, which means that giving images, I'll just kind of be looking down and looking up and making weird faces. We ignore that. That's just part of the process that I can't seem to change. And so one image may mean two or three different things to me. There will be a back and forth. I'm like, how do you understand this? Does this make sense? Don't feel like you have to agree with me, right? Because I'll either go to my next meaning of what that image means, or it's a great way to check and balance with Spirit, right? Like you say no, but Spirit keeps it. I'll just say, okay, just remember I said that. You'll make sense of it later. I do
Okay.
have a system, so if I do say that, like, just remember I said that, that means it's correct, you'll make sense of it later. If it's not, I know when I'm wrong. They usually don't
Okay.
let me meet. I have to just, like, struggle through it until I figure it out pretty
Okay.
much.
Okay.
Um, I do ask spirit to bring through everything that they feel you need to know. And
Okay.
so it may not only be the things that we want to know. Sometimes we
Yes.
don't even know that we need it until we hear it. I
Yes.
do ask for it to be positive for healing purposes. So if something comes in that makes you feel negative, it just means that it's going to help you heal, that we need to address it, that type of thing. All
Yeah.
right. And I usually just let spirit chit chat. And if we have time, we can do questions and stuff like that. Okay. Who's the young soul for you on the other side? So it's
Young.
so interesting because they're not even coming into my full. It's so funny. Okay. Are you connected to a young male that's passed? So like someone that we would feel would have passed before their time. He also keeps putting a lot of pressure on my chest and it does feel like impact. So sometimes this means car accident, sometimes this means I got hit with something, sometimes this means gunshot. And also, are you
Possibly a cousin.
okay? Are you how does he connect to the chest?
He was in a ATV accident.
Okay. Was there also questions around like why he was where he was at, or
Yeah.
because he just when he shows me the question marks, they're like, "Oh my god, this is what's happening." So many people are having a hard time coming to terms with my departure because there's so many holes to the story.
Oh my
Okay?
gosh. Yeah. Okay.
That
That
makes
might.
sense?
Yeah.
And so this is his way of who's the mother on the other side?
Grandmother, maybe.
Okay. Would this be the grandmother that you share with him?
No, it would be my grandmother and his great aunt.
Okay. Because he brings her forward and shows me that there's a connection to him and a connection to you, just to let us know that he's not alone on the other side, to validate that he is with our loved ones.
Okay.
Okay. He also says as well, he also makes me feel like, was there water involved as well? Or he keeps making me feel, I mean, he's a little disorganized. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
Feel like that would just be his personality, right?
Yeah.
He's telling you a story, then all of a sudden we're over here, and all of a sudden we're back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he, one, is showing me that he's not alone. Two, I was just about to say, I take responsibilities for the choices that I made that day, not wanting someone to feel as though they could have or should have been able to prevent his departure. And then he also makes me feel like my body is wet. So unless I got kicked off the ATV and I was laying in a puddle or
Yeah.
however
I
it
believe.
comes in.
Yeah. The ATV was on him for a couple days.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this could be blood, this can be
Okay.
water. This
Yeah.
is just his way to validate that this is real,
Wow. Okay.
okay? And it is really important. He makes me feel as well that he was having the time of his life and then he was in spirit, right? And so
Yeah.
we often worry, was he there for days and days and did we just get there too late? Or he
Yeah.
shows me no pain, no suffering and wanting
Wow.
to use this opportunity to let us know that he is safe with God on the other side. And he
Wow.
just laughed and he goes, and I'm safe with God. And I didn't believe in God. So validating that he has remedied his own beliefs, that even though he didn't believe in heaven and believe in life after death, that didn't prevent him from having it and being safe on the other side. That just
Yeah.
gave me the goosebumps from head to toe.
Wow. That is unbelievable.
Um, your grandma, and it's so funny too, because I feel like your grandmother, um, was being polite and letting him have his say. He goes, "We needed to hear that. Family needs to hear that, but here I am. I'm
Yes.
who she wants to talk to, dear."
Yes.
So, did you live with her at one time?
Yeah, and she lived with us.
Perfect. Because she just shows me, "Oh, no, I was like a mother." And then shows me the house, which is my sign and symbol that you have lived with her, she has lived with you in this lifetime. Okay? And
Yeah.
she goes, "Isn't she so beautiful?" And I'm like, "Yeah, she really is." But she would just gush over you in your eyes, in your hair, right? And so knowing
Yep.
that she hasn't changed and how so first off, and this is what she says. Her life right now isn't what she thought it would be. Know that I'm so proud of you no matter what. And so there's this feeling of you're a little lost or
Yeah.
you're in transition. and you
Yeah.
feel like you're flailing or that you're failing. And she's like, absolutely not. Dear, you're finding yourself, is what she says. So know that she is so proud of you and helping you. Now, she also wants to say how, one, you used to feel her more, and now you're kind of searching more for her.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
That does not mean that she is not with you. That means that one, okay, two things is what she's saying. She is so direct. I love it. Like, thank you. Showing up
Okay.
prepared. Okay. One, you are growing and healing, and she is growing and healing. And what that means is that our souls will communicate on different levels just by that. By
Okay.
you growing and healing and by her growing and healing on the other side. How we used to communicate right after the departure and how we communicate now is going to change. Whenever it gets quiet, I always tell my clients to tell her, this is what I need. Set your sign. Go, I want Nan, I want you to use the dimes. Nobody else use the dimes. Just Nan is going to use the dimes. So that when
Okay.
they come, you know without a doubt they're coming from her,
Yeah.
and it will just help you feel confident again. She
Okay.
also says, because life is lifing right now, that can overwhelm our sensitivities. So to be able
Mhm.
to pick up intuitively, things need to be very calm and peaceful, right?
Yeah.
And so when it's not, doesn't mean that she's not there. It just our ability to feel her presence isn't where it needs to
Okay.
be. Okay. So I always say, even if you're not feeling her, trust that she's there because she absolutely is.
Wow.
Okay. Do you have the
Yeah.
tattoo or do you think of the tattoo?
Yeah.
Good, good. So
Yeah.
know that this is her way of addressing that and
Wow.
knowing of the ways that we want to include her and honor her in your everyday life. Okay?
Wow. Yeah.
You have children yet?
I have a stepson. So yeah.
Okay. Perfect. But you said if I was to ever have a daughter, that I would name her after my grandmother, whether it's a first name or a middle name. Doesn't matter. Nickname doesn't matter. She's validating that she hears your thoughts. That she knows whether it doesn't mean just because she knows we have to go out and do it. You know what I mean? It just means her way of validating that she hears your prayers, that she knows how you want to honor her, include her in the rest of your life. And she says, thank you for that. Was she also sick and hid it from you or downplayed it?
I think, yeah, it was downplayed.
Yeah. And you were younger when she passed?
No, this was just recently.
Okay. So
Yeah.
this is her way of always viewing you as the little girl. Because she was like, I didn't want her to worry her. She was a little girl, right? We could be 50 and still her little girl, you
Yeah.
know? And so know that this is just her way. But I also feel like that was just her personality. She would never want to inconvenience or burden someone else. She only wanted to take care of, right? And so if we are healing and reflecting and kind of going through the grieving process and feeling like, I wish I knew, or I feel a little duped, know that it was from her pure intentions,
Okay.
right? A lot of the time, spirit will come through and go, you know what? Like I thought I was doing what was best for them by
Yeah.
withholding information, but it actually prevents us from the grieving process. But she
Mm.
said, luckily for you, your intuition, she may have said, oh, no, 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 I'm fine. But your intuition knew differently.
Mm.
Okay. So validating on your own intuition, your own intuitive abilities, and your own soul connections with her. Now, do you sing or like play the piano or where does the music come in?
My grandfather.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Is he still living or departed?
He's departed.
Okay. So this would be just his, because all of a sudden I can just hear it in the background. He's not even in the foresight yet. So this is her way. She is not giving up the microphone. All
No,
right.
she's probably dancing to him. She loves
Exactly.
to dance.
Right? And so
Yeah.
this is her way of letting you know that he was there waiting for her and that she's not alone. Okay? She also shows me a few things actually, which is interesting. One, she wants to acknowledge the written word. So did you help with the obituary? Did you write a letter, make a beautiful Facebook post, write in your journal about her? How do you connect to
Yeah.
that?
Write it in my journal.
Perfect. So her way of acknowledging and saying thank you. Now, she also just shows me like a little sketch though. So I don't know if this means that you also sketch or you doodle or like she had your artwork from when you were a little girl, or it can also mean that somebody created, art or an image of her. Okay. And so,
Okay.
however you take that, it's
Yeah.
also interesting as well, because as I was talking, spirit will always communicate with me out of my own frame of reference. And
Mhm.
they showed me this picture that I had made for my mother in law. And it was by Sketches by Shell, I think, or Shell Sketches by Shell, I think. She's on Instagram. She's
Yeah.
wonderful. Where she took different pictures and then made one sketch picture of my mother-in-law, my daughter, and her mother.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Okay. And so that was the image that when I was trying to articulate, she brought in. So this may not be something that you have right now. This may be a
Yes.
gift that's coming in. And so know that whether this is now or in 5 years, when you come across that sketch art, know
Yes.
that her soul is with you in that exact moment.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you also have her rings, or how do you connect to the rings?
The rings. I asked for rings after
Sure.
she departed, maybe.
Yep. So just
Yep.
know that this is her way of validating. So what you'll notice throughout the session is that she will bring through validations that we know for sure. So
Yeah.
she brings up the rings for you because you asked for the rings to validate that I'm interpreting the heartfelt messages correctly as well.
Yeah.
Did she have like arthritis, or was she unable to wear her jewelry in the end?
She was very swollen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she said, "Oh, I love them, but I couldn't look at my fingers," is what she
Uh-huh.
said. Okay. And so know that this is just her way, again, validating that she's in perfect health, right? Because she makes me feel like her body carried a lot of weight, a lot of fluid, because she's like, "Look how little my waist is now." To validate that she's in perfect health, and that she would grumble of how uncomfortable she is because her
Mhm.
body was so not her body anymore, right? And
Yeah.
so she's coming in and going, "Look how good I look how good I feel, how easily I move around," to
Uh-huh.
validate that she's in perfect health. Did you
I love
just miss the departure, or do you feel like she didn't hear you? How do you connect to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was, in the ICU
Mm,
when I finally went to see her, and, the next day she passed, but I didn't get to speak to her
okay.
in conscious mind.
Know that she hears you.
So,
She says that you feel like you missed the opportunity and that you're upset with yourself for those choices. And she said, if it was up to me, we would never have said goodbye, because she would not want that for either one of you. You understand? And so if we're
definitely,
meant to have that experience, we do. And she doesn't want you to be upset with yourself, because you do carry regret, correct?
I do.
And wanting you to release that and saying, I know that you were there.
Oh,
And she actually even shows me you getting ready to go there and, like, being at a gear, like, my hair's up, my hair's down, this sweater, that sweater, because you just didn't know what to do and how to correct?
yeah, I was.
Validating, yeah, validating that she was with you at home, drove there with you, and was with you in the room, because when you are in your decline and you were unconscious, you were the soul is already outside of your body, which means
Yeah.
she has the perks of spirit. Right? And so how spirit will show it to me is the body's there reacting to the body dying, which can be uncomfortable. It can be moaning with pain or making odd sounds, but the soul is not suffering. So
Oh,
she was already in spirit having the perks, even that day before,
yeah.
making sure that she was with you, helping and loving you as you went through that experience that was so upsetting for you. So not wanting you to now punish yourself or hold yourself in contempt, because she says, absolutely not. I was there the whole time. And she says, I never question the love she had for me. Okay. So not wanting, because what tends to happen is that we do, as young people, take things for granted. And you will
Absolutely.
notice as you continue to grow and go through different seasons of your life, and continue into your seasons of motherhood and then grandmotherhood, and we will go, "Oh my gosh, that was such a special connection. I didn't really fully understand it or appreciate it while she was here with me." And then we like to beat up on ourselves. But like
Yeah.
that's the design, right? And
Yeah.
she says, I needed Logan as much as Logan needed me. So never think that it's only one-sided, okay? And that she continues to love and guide you here in this physical form. How do you
Wow.
get to the maintenance to the car? Did you just have to get your car fixed, an oil change?
I have an oil change that needs to be done right now.
Perfect. And this is just her way of validating it. When you think, "Oh, Jesus, I better make that appointment. How long can I push it?" Right? Exactly. Know that her soul is there. How would I know that? I would not know that, correct? And this is what I love about spirit, right?
Oh my gosh.
Because you have the cynics out there, and it's like,
Uh,
"Oh, Angela can find you on Facebook." Well, really,
right.
is are you
Yes.
posting that you need an oil change, that you're procrastinating on Facebook? No,
Oh my goodness gracious. Wow.
right? And so this is just her way of wanting you to make sure that you know that this is real, that her soul is with you, and that she is completely fine and safe on the other side.
Amazing.
Okay. Are
Yeah.
you wanting to have having biological children yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. So she does show 2 souls available to you, okay? Which I always say, um so they're showing me one is definitely coming in, meaning, like, whether we want it or not. And then I do have the second soul that would be available if you choose to bring her through, is how it comes up, right?
Okay.
And so there's some souls that are coming through because they're just such a part of our path. And then there's
Yeah.
other souls that if we choose to go from 2 children to 3 children, you could.
Okay.
Okay. Are you worried, or do you have challenges conceiving, or are you worried that when the time comes you're going to have challenges?
Um, so yeah, the concern of that happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you this. I don't know if you're going to see this, but before your cousin even came through, they had me write down the word babies,
Ah,
because I saw your grandmother with a baby on the other side, letting us know that she holds the babies who did not get to come through into this life, and that moving forward, you will have physical, biological children.
oh god.
And it's really important for her to bring
Wow.
through that security for you, because she says that you ask her for that and that you talk to her about that, validating that her soul hears you, loves you, and supports you. And she
Wow.
says, Angela, Logan is just one of those natural moms that you are just going to be the most amazing that you are, because you have a stepson. But as you continue your motherhood experience, that you are just going to continue to grow and expand into the most amazing mom, and that she is so deeply proud of you.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Um, with your mom is living, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Where does the worries and concerns for mom come in? Because she immediately brought me to your mom. I felt
Yeah.
all in a tizzy. And then
Yeah.
she goes and just kind of brings it down, which is her way of helping her regulate.
Um, I asked mom today if there was anything, that she'd wanna know, and she said she wants to make sure that everyone's okay on the
Yes.
other side.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's where that anxious feeling comes in,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
And so it is really important for your mom to know that they are all safe and sound on the other side, and that their concern is with you guys who are left behind.
Mm.
Often we will look at it and we'll go, "Oh my God, poor them." It's like, no, poor us. It is way harder being us,
100%.
right? But I do feel like through this string of loss, and especially with your mom, because I feel like her grief experience feels very back to back, right? It
Okay.
just kind of feels like one thing after another. It could still be years between departures, but it just
Yeah.
means that she hasn't really caught up, or the healing hasn't really took off, right? And
Yeah.
to validate that when she feels, 'cause to me, the anxiety, especially because I find you very intuitive and I find your mother very intuitive, except for there's fear based with mom.
Yeah.
It's feeling, right? So oftentimes this anxiety that we're feeling is actually their souls being present. They're just at a higher vibration, right? And so
Okay.
as we are our system and our bodies are tuning in and tapping into their energy, it can be overwhelming to our systems.
Yes.
Because she says mom's anxiety is there and then it's gone. Or she'll
Okay.
be all worked up and then all of a sudden this ease comes over. Know that that is your grandmother and your loved ones helping her here in the physical form.
That's so
Okay.
yeah.
There was also wanting to talk and to pass along that all the decisions that were made on your grandmother's behalf before, during, and after her departure were perfect.
Oh,
She has me going through the medical files, which is my sign and symbol that you or someone in the family feels as though there should have been or could have been a different path, whether we would have seen it, made a different decision, diagnosed it earlier, however we relate to that. And
yep.
she goes, I was tired, Ange.
Oh,
She goes, I was tired, okay? And so
oh,
she says that things happen as they were because
yeah.
she was ready,
Yes.
okay?
Okay. Yes.
She also says the decisions and after. And she also says, and I don't know how you're going to interpret this, but she goes, throw my shit away. So I don't know if you guys are hanging on to things or you feel bad. We have to hang on to everything because we feel bad. And she's like, no, you don't.
Trying to keep it one of her plants alive for the love of God, and it just will not stay alive.
And
I
so
go right to
if the
that.
plant
Throw it
has
away.
to go, then don't worry that she is not upset with you. Like she is connected to you guys. She is not connected to the physical things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So making sure that you know that it's okay if we have to purge some things or let the plant go. Know that that is not disrespecting her.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Okay. So your grandfather steps forward as well. And it's
Yeah.
so interesting because he's so sweet. And he's like, "I'm gonna talk, but I just want you to know that I'm here." Right? But like that would be him, correct?
That's so him. Yes.
And he also wants to bring through peace surrounding his departure. He makes me feel like we carry woulda, shoulda, couldas, or what ifs around his departure. And
Yeah.
he's so buttoned up. He's like, I don't even want to talk about it. Like he doesn't even want
Oh,
he's just like, there was no, don't lose any more peace over that. He also makes me feel like his transition was quick because he was like, I was just in spirit. Boom.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
good. Right? And so
Good.
don't
Yeah.
worry that he didn't know what was happening, or don't worry that he was confused, or don't worry, because he's like, no, I was good. I'm good. I'm happy that I didn't know. I'm happy that I was just in spirit. Like that's the way that I wanted it to be. Do you understand that? Good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good. So not wanting us to look back and feel like that they didn't have the departure that we felt they deserved. They said they had the departure that they needed, and not wanting you or anyone else to feel any woulda, shoulda, couldas, or that things should have been or could have been differently. You understand?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good. Good. Awesome. Any questions? Anything that you want to ask? They did amazing. I'm like so
Oh my
pleased with them.
God. Oh my God.
They get a gold star. And even for your grandfather, because I always say if they are not a good communicator here in the physical form for
Yeah.
whatever reason, they aren't on the other side. But he was direct. He still
Yeah.
didn't want to talk. He just let us know
No.
that he's there.
Yeah.
I
Very
loved it.
quiet and laid back man. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. Oh
Yeah.
my God. That's amazing.
Good, good. I'm so glad. Listen, I hope that this
Oh,
brings you peace and knowing that they are together and that they
yeah.
are always with you and loving you and guiding you. And especially where life right now seems a little bit kerfuffled and a little bit
Yes.
confusing for you, know that they're helping you as everything straightens out and works out.
Okay.
I keep saying, like, don't lose hope or don't lose faith. Everything that you need needs to come in. To me, it
Yeah.
feels like you just need to let yourself just be. Just let
Let it.
yourself be where you're at right now. Don't worry about what's coming in. It's coming in. What is
Yeah.
yours is already yours, right?
Okay.
Now it's just you getting to be you and working on your healing and your grieving and
Yeah.
know that everything that needs to line up is already lined up, making its way to you.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, Logan. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much, Angela. Thank you
Welcome.
so
You're
much.
welcome. All right. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I hope you took away from Logan's messages in the connection today. Stick around for Messages from Spirit Afterthoughts, where you will hear from Logan herself.
There's just
there's no words. Like, oh my god. Like, how would she know any of that? I legit just got my oil change done this morning. Like, everything that she said to a T was spot on. Like, what an amazing gift. Like, how would she, like, I listened to it probably now, I don't know, 6 or 7 times because I'm like, "How would she know that? How would she have known that? How would she there's no way. How would she have known any of that?" So, weirdly enough, it was the first person that came through was my cousin, who I wasn't close with at all, but when he did pass, I was, like, part of, like, helping search for him because he was missing for a couple days, and I thought about him the day before the reading. Like, it was just weird, like, and apparently what my cousins have gotten his siblings, and he's very strong coming through. He has made it a point to come through. So like I was like at first I was like, who would it have been? Who would it have been? Like thinking like no, it has to be Jeffrey. That's the only person that like I can think of. Like it's Jeffrey, and the way like all like the way she was just oh my god, I can't like his personality to a T. And then my grandmother like God, I can't believe it. Oh, that really sounds like a nanny. I was like, oh, but now that's grandma for sure. I totally was going back and forth, and then when my mom listened to it, she was like, that was definitely nanny, and that is 100% your grandmother to a T. And then my grandfather, he's been gone now 15 years, and the way she described him being so quiet and like tidy and you wouldn't know that if someone was gone for 15 years. I was 15 years old when he passed, and, like, that's exactly how I remember him to a T, a man of little words, but his little words, like, impacted so much. And who I have a tattoo for, who my grandmother would have been talking about for the tattoo. Because she always gushed over the tattoo, and then my mother got the same tattoo, so, like, have the same one. Oh, like, and then the music, she loved to listen to him play music, and the part where she said, "I'm tired, Aunt." My mom just her face was like, "I knew you were. I knew you were." And I said, "I told you she was. I told you." And the part where it was for the medical, that it could have been more deep dive into medical, I felt like that was for my mom, because mom was that person. She thought that there was something that they missed, like, she thought that there was more. And the plant, oh my god. I wanna go see her again, like, today, like, I would go every hour, like, just my god, she is great. She is a beautiful person who can give a lot of healing words and comfort to a lot of people. There's not a word to describe how those words and those validations could ever make someone feel. I'm coming back 100%. Oh my god. Unbelievable. If for her to say Tizzy, that's my mother's word. She was like, how'd you know I'm in a tizzy? That like we say that so often. Mom, why are you in a tizzy? Mom, you're in a tizzy. Mom. Like for her to use that word tizzy. Unfreaking believable. I'm coming back 100%.
Thank you for joining me on this journey of connection and love. As we conclude another episode, I want to express my deepest gratitude to you. To be able to do this work, it is a profound privilege for me. I have learned so much through my connections with you in spirit. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your spiritual journey. And thank you for being a part of mine. Remember, the connections with your departed loved ones are timeless and eternal. May the messages shared here bring you comfort, healing, and a renewed sense of hope. I'll leave that with you. May you walk in the light of love and know that you are always divinely connected. I am Angela MacLellan, your host and medium, sending you light and love always.